This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com. Okay, now we're back. We're talking about Ken Shamrock, who still looks fantastic. And maybe he's got some diet and exercise and routine tips for you, Bruce.
You think?
I bet.
I would follow him because the son bitch kind of looks ageless.
He's
a machine, man. You know what? I'm going to reminisce on the last time that I saw him, and you were a part of it, because last time I saw was at a StarCast in Vegas.
Yep.
And man, it was great to just reminisce with him and see him and say hello, because he looked absolutely fantastic.
He looks like he's ready to be like a mob enforcer or something. You know what I mean? Like he could be a movie character right now. He's ready.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if he wears those big glasses, and
that's exactly what does it. He wears those old Joe Pesci glasses, and you're like, oh shit, he's going to break somebody's legs today. Look at that.
Yeah. He's going to paint a house.
His story starts a lot like The Undertaker's did with Buzz Sawyer. Of course, he went for wrestling training, but, he never got any of that. What was it about Buzz? I mean, he's just got a string of talents where he's getting cash up front and see you later. Adios, amigos.
I think that Buzz was a bit of a con in him.
I think that's fair to say. He winds up getting trained, believe it or not, by Nelson Royal and Gene Anderson. That's right. Folks from North Carolina here.
North Carolina.
And he actually makes his WWF debut. That's right. Ken Shamrock worked for the WWF in 1989. In Greensboro on July 29th, he would lose to Barry Horowitz. And on July 30th, he loses to Tom McGee. Yes, that Tom McGee of the infamous Bret Hart tape. There's no chance you remember any of this from 1989, right? I mean, he's there for.
Actually, I do.
Really?
Yeah, his name was like Ken Tortellini or something like that. He didn't go as Ken Shamrock. It was like, I think it wasn't Tortellini, but it was something like that.
It's so fantastic to me to really think about.
Ken Fettuccini? Would it be Fettuccine? Fusilini? I know it was some kind of pasta.
It was a pasta. Listen to you.
Well, dude, I really and truly think it was. I don't know if it was a rib or what, but I thought that was his real name.
I have it. I have it here in my notes that he was in the opening match at the Coliseum in Greensboro, July 29th. Barry Horowitz over Ken Shamrock. The rest of that card, which is kind of fun.
Name.
It's Tim Horner over Tom McGee, the Red Rooster over the Brooklyn Brawler, Rick Rude over Jim Duggan.
Events anywhere in the country, by God.
Check this out. This is kind of fun. Greg Valentine beats Brutus Beefcake by forfeit. Beefcake was a replacement for Hulk Hogan. Can you imagine?
Hey, if you're going to replace him better.
Fuck off. Can you imagine? You take your kids down to the arena. Kids, Hulk Hogan's here. Yay! Doom, doom, doom. Here comes strutting and cutting. You're like, who the fuck is this guy? Now, don't get me wrong. I know Beefcake was over. But Hulk Hogan to Beefcake? Man, that's disappointing.
Well, to some, but to others, they may have been like, oh my God, Beefcake, yeah.
Man, I would pay money to see this match in Charlotte, July 30th, 1989. Tom McGee versus Ken Shamrock. What? That sounds like out of a fever dream. That's crazy.
Ooh, that'd be bad.
Let's talk about it. Ken winds up working more of a shoot style. He winds up in Japan. Of course, that style is very accepted and very endeared over there. And then eventually he starts competing in mixed martial arts for Pancrase and the UFC. And Shamrock had some pretty legendary feuds with the Gracie family there. And of course, the UFC starts exploding in popularity in early 95. And I'm curious, when you start to see all of a sudden there's some buzz and there's, you see the VHSs everywhere, and it was doing okay on pay-per-view before they got thrown off. But when that's happening, do you remember anybody in the company looking around and saying, hey, wait a minute, we know that guy?
Yeah, I know the first time he went in, but Conrad, he's got to look in there for his NWA days, what he worked as, because he worked as something else. He didn't always work as Ken Shamrock. He worked as something else. And while you're doing that, Kenny was he was looked at as an enhancement talent, I think, in the very beginning, because that is what he had done up until that point, and started seeing Ken on UFC fights and started seeing that, holy shit, man, this guy's a badass.
He worked as the name you were trying to come up with is Vince Torelli.
Okay.
And
I like Torelli with meat sauce.
Will you stop?
Well, have you ever had it with meat sauce?
I don't even know what Torelli is besides the last name of a guy named Vince.
Okay. Well,
I'm from Alabama, man.
Meat sauce.
I don't know anything about that. You mean like ragu?
Or as they call it up here, bolognese. But here's the other thing about that. I'm going to give you another inside tip. Okay. Tip here.
Okay.
Like pro tips.
I love pro tips.
Okay. Bolognese does not always equal meat sauce.
Bolognese is a combination of multiple meats, is it not?
Well, can be a combination of multiple meats. So can meat sauce. But a lot of times it'll also have cream and other things in it. And in bolognese and meat sauce sometimes can be one and the same. Valentino's in Norwalk, I highly recommend for those of you that they're in the Norwalk area, because they have the best veal parm and they have really great meat sauce with angel hair pasta. Yeah, that was a free plug.
Should we ask for Vinny when we're there?
Ask for Vinny, yes, and tell him Bruce sent you.
Yeah, so there you go. What a small.
Yeah, ask for Vinny or Big Lou.
So let's talk about, I said,
tip well.
He starts to explode in popularity, or the UFC does. So when do you start to say, hey, Vince, they're having some problems over there. The UFC's getting thrown off pay-per-view, and we got Mr. McCain saying it's human cockfighting, and they got some real issues. And this guy's a star, and he knows how to wrestle because he worked for us once. When does that idea first come up? Would that have been, we know we see him in early 97, but are you having that conversation in 95 or 96, or what do you think?
No, I think of anybody that was looked at to come in, Severn was probably the top name. And I know that Cornette was very high on Dan Severn. I was high on Dan Severn. I always liked Dan. I think Dan's if you were to look at what you would have wanted back in the day of your clean cut baby face guy to put on a suit and go out and represent the company and could whip anybody's ass that ever tried him, you go Dan Severn. Dan looked the part, and Dan was very well spoken. And I think Dan was kind of a gentleman's gentleman.
Yeah.
So Dan was easy to like and easy to deal with. But I think that Vince, when it came time, was more interested in Shamrock, felt Kenny had a lot more charisma than Dan, and time would prove that out. But in the early days, it was more Dan, because Dan, had actually won. I don't think that Ken ever won the big one.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the draw of him fighting Gracie and eventually Dan Severn, and he's got these Japanese commitments. And then before you know it, man, CBS has actually dubbed him the world's most dangerous man, which is obviously a big marketing tool. But as we said, between all the political backlash and the pay-per-view companies, man, the UFC, they're on the struggle bus by late 96. Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.